Your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
And this one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
Fans are amazing. It is lit down here on the sideline.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Here come the students. Oh, here come the students. They're coming from the south end, and this one has been a long time brewing.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
All right, hit us up. This is a celebration day. Forget about Georgia for right now, all right? You get to bask in glory for the next couple of days. Georgia Saturday, that's this Saturday. You just had a totally gloried Saturday. What a wonderful game. What a great experience. And what a team you've got to root for right now here across the state of Arkansas. Good morning and welcome into your Monday halftime. Phil Elson, Drew Barrett, Matty T. The number's 877-377-6963. You want to exalt? Well, exalt today. Phone calls and texts for the next couple of hours. Connor O'Gara joining us in about 30 minutes to get his impression of Arkansas's win over Texas A&M and maybe a little bit of a look ahead to Georgia, but other things, of course, that happen in the SEC too. But how to put this? The big bad witch is dead.
Yeah.
You put it in that terms, like the hated losing streak to Texas A&M is over. How about that? Doesn't that feel good? You no longer have to wallow in the misery of inventing ways to lose and watching a maroon-clad team celebrate on a stadium that was built by one of your own alumnus. Now Arkansas took it to Texas A&M at AT&T Stadium. You know, and you know, it's not the same, Drew, it's not the same final score as the Texas game, but you still have a true sense.
You felt like it was as dominant.
Well, physically dominant.
Yes.
Yes, that's what it felt like. You know, they didn't push them around just the same way that they did the Longhorns, but Arkansas was the more physical team. Arkansas was the more creative team.
Mm-hmm.
They had a little bit more of I think I want this ball game. You know, I mean, you've got KJ Jefferson throwing beautiful blocks. I didn't see much of that from Zach Calzada, but it's not like he had a chance to really do much because he was running around for his life the entire game. I mean, really, in all facets, to me, the running game was good. Defense was tremendous at every level. You have a big play offense and a big play passing game now with KJ Jefferson.
Yeah, who knew?
and you have a smothering defense that swarms to the ball and gets pressure with 3 down linemen. I mean, and right now, you know, if you're going by what you saw against Texas A&M, who wouldn't give Arkansas a fighter's chance in Athens on Saturday? But you know, I mean, my impression of Arkansas beating Texas A&M was. It felt to me like I'm not sure if they could have played much better. It really was a fantastic performance. Drew, what did you see when you watched it Saturday?
Well, I just like you, I felt that it was dominant and checking it throughout the game and just watching as much as I could. It was you never really had a sense of doubt. I mean, once you got out of that first quarter, you were up 17-0. You just felt you felt good. You know, you never felt like, regardless what A&M did, that it was ever really in jeopardy because of how physical it is. And this is an exciting time to be in the natural state. It's an exciting time to celebrate. And, you know, remember, you're not Sam Pittman. I'm not Kendall Briles. Matty's not Barry Odom. And everybody out there, you're not Hunter Henry. You're not Bumper Pool. You're not KJ Jefferson. You don't play for the team. So you don't have to move on. We can celebrate this. We can talk about this and enjoy this until our traditional noon o'clock on Wednesday where we crumple up are we fully crumpling up the sheet, or are we saving this one like we did for Texas?
I still have to save most of the box score for next Saturday, but then I'll pick maybe one sheet to crumple up.
Okay.
Just at least one to be symbolic about it.
Yeah, then we'll move on to all the excitement that is ahead with College Game Day, going to Athens, being the primetime broadcasters in Fowler and Herbstreit on the call at 11 in Athens, Georgia. We'll move on that. We'll talk about that. But this is just such a great time. Ranked eighth in the country, 4-0. I mean, is there a better time to not only be a Razorback fan, but to be a part of Arkansas sports radio? I mean, this just feels phenomenal.
And that does extend a little bit to the other programs on campus too. And basketball starts official practice, I think, today, and baseball's already practicing, and and all of that. And I think you're right. I haven't seen a level of success for all the programs, and I mean that extends all the way to soccer, softball, track, everything going on at the same time. There's always that if, but football isn't there. Well, it seems they are right now. And if you were waiting for a win over an SEC team to really start buying in, I think that goes for a lot of the national people too. There it is. I mean, there it is. It's like we talked about all last week. Rubber meets road when you finally start playing in the SEC.
And you look dominant in the SEC against a team that you felt was one of, if not the most dominating physically, like dominating and putting their will on you in the SEC. That was A&M's reputation going into this game, and you completely made them look terrible. You made them look soft. You out-physicaled the quote-unquote most physical team in the SEC.
Well, when rubber met road on Saturday at AT&T Stadium, it screeched and then it sped off at 200 miles an hour, man. Really did. All right, again, the number is 877-377-6963. We kind of expect listeners to carry us through these Mondays after big Razorback football wins. And we choose to be lazy on these Mondays as hosts, and we expect you to do all the work.
Exactly.
So first up is JW. JW, are you ready to carry the show for however long you're planning?
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. Woo pig suey. Oh, yeah. Hey, I have studied war as long as I've played guitar, and I started doing that about 8 years old. You have to have a real field commander. Now, I'm not talking about the generals on the field. I mean a real field commander. One of the persons who I don't think has got enough credit for this victory yet is our athletic director, Mr. Hunter Yurchev. He has assembled, not only in football, but particularly in football, he has assembled what we need to have a winning program and be taken seriously nationally again. I'm so excited about next week, and I'm almost afraid I may levitate off the couch or something Saturday. And the thing is I don't care how many points we are underdogs. These kids don't know they're supposed to lose, and we're outgunned. I mean, this is and we're getting national exposure. Just go out and show them how tough we are here in Hogland, and enjoying your show and enjoying seeing the fans so excited again. It's been a long time coming, and I want it to be a long time gone too. And so and for that reason, give him some money and lock him in. We need him as an athletic director. Well, and anyway, goodbye, gentlemen.
You got it, JW. I think Hunter Yurchev is the one who came up with this one Razorback thing. And, I mean, not every one of the coaches, non-football coaches, was at the game on Saturday, but a whole heck of a lot of them were.
I mean, how many programs around the country do you see not only coaches of the of programs that are as highly respected as Eric Musselman in basketball, as Dave Van Horn, probably one of the top 3 most respected men in all of college baseball, not only just show up to home games, but to travel.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't see that.
Cancel practice for a weekend,
exactly.
too. I mean, Dave Van Horn canceled baseball practice for an entire weekend so that the guys would be able to focus on the football game and he'd be able to be there and make a catch on the sideline and get his name chanted. It was great to have Muss there. And I know Mike Neighbors was at the game, too. I saw a photo of him with Lacey, who is one of the top assistant coaches. I'd like to get names on the field too. I kind of felt bad about that. You got Van Horn, Muss, and Sam Pittman embracing on the field. But Mike Neighbors is as much of a Razorback football fan, and I'm speaking football here about the women's basketball, about as big of a Razorback football fan as anybody in this entire state. So. It'd be cool to get him on there. And as JW mentioned, he doesn't care how big of an underdog Arkansas is against Georgia. Get a load of this. And this is the game that Game Day is going to, right?
Yeah.
This is again the biggest
stage you can get
game of the weekend across the country. And I know Alabama, Ole Miss might have a fighting chance for that too. Arkansas is the biggest underdog in the SEC this weekend. and they are the featured game on ESPN. How do you like that? 18.5-point underdog. And what is Coach Pittman's record against the spread now? And I mean, I don't care if they cover the spread, really. I'd like to see them win, but I think he's like 11-3.
Yeah, pretty good.
11-3 against the spread as the Razorbacks football coach. That's amazing because as we know, and this, I don't know if this is a fact or if this is just opinion. Good coaches win. Drew, you know what great coaches do.
They cover the spread.
They cover. That's right. And right now, I think Sam Pittman is maybe the best coach in college football when it comes to that. 877-377-6963 is the number to get on halftime today. All right, and I got a basic question for listeners here, a very basic question, because I feel like there's a lot. There are a lot of things right now that stand out about this team. The binary nature of what KJ Jefferson can do and how that separates him, I think, from most of the other quarterbacks in the SEC. Your deep stable of running backs, big play receivers, Traylon Burks, if you're worried after that Rice game, my gosh, has he come up big in a lot of games these days. The defensive line, is it the linebackers? Is it the offense? I mean, take your pick. Is it the offensive line? I don't know. What impresses you the most about this
Can I just say all
football
of it?
team right now? No, you got to be more specific.
Okay, fine. On the other side of the break, I'll figure out which my most impressive part of the ball is.
We can be lazy radio hosts and let the listeners do our work today, but not 100% lazy.
And if
you're
get
out of bed.
Well, if they're on the edge of do I call in or call not, if you don't call in and give us some content, today is NBA Media Day, and I'll go to it. I will. So we need your interaction. It's a threat, people. I will break down the Washington Wizards. I will break down the Utah Jazz.
Let's definitely not.
So hit the phone line.
I know we got a caller on hold here. Maddie, you want to take the break or do you want to go to the call?
Let's go ahead and take the call because Hognoxious, he's a good one.
It's Hognoxious, and Hognoxious, I gotta tell you, I saw you had one of my favorite tweets during Saturday's game when the Aggie fans were headed to the exits. Hognoxious tweets that the Aggies are being fined for storming the parking lot, which they were doing in droves.
That's
That was very well done, Hognoxious.
Yes, and they're also having to pay that $9 million a year fine for their coach that doesn't measure up to the one that we got for garage sale price.
Well, for right now, I know it's again. Sam Pittman does kind of feel like right now he's certainly in the.
I mean, he's the diamond in the rough. It feels like
that's for certain. Go ahead, Hognoxious. Sorry.
Yeah, and really, it looks like he's performing miracles. But gosh, guys, it's so basic. Teach them to go to the ball, tackle the ball, and block the guy in front of you, and do your job. And it's not smoke and mirrors. It's fundamental football. It's just these guys are really good at loving their players and motivating them to do the right job. Now, Barry Odom is drawing up some things that apparently are really giving everybody fits because that's what Barry Odom does.
Yeah, he really does. and look, when you're able to get that much pressure with 3 down linemen, you know, that's going to leave your defensive coordinator a lot of room to be very, very creative and for these guys to storm to the ball the way that they do. So, Hognoxious put you on the spot, and then we got to take a break. And if you could keep the answer a little short, that would be appreciated. What's the thing that impresses you the most right now out of this Razorback football team?
Right now, the thing that's impressing me the most is the way this offensive line is doing the job, the way these guys are believing, and we have won 7 total games in the last 3 years. And right now, I don't think you can keep us from 7 wins this year. I'll be Debbie Downer later in the week, but these guys are doing the job. Really proud of this football team.
All right. Hognoxious, appreciate you, man. It's good to talk to you. As always, keep the snarky tweets coming. And I'll have a little comment on snarky Twitter later on in the show.
I'm sure you will.
877-377-6963. Halftime right back.
Don't Don't miss out on Hog reaction after every Razorback football game. Presented by Game Day Lodge.
Coach Pittman, sir, I love you, man. This fan base loves you. You got the whole train rolling out of the darkness.
You know, the start of the season is just around the corner, and if you're into sports betting, BetOnline is where you should go to win some money today. Whether it's live bets during games or future bets on who you think will win the championship, BetOnline has all the latest odds, news, and information for all your online sports betting needs. Visit the website today or use your mobile device to join and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. So before the next big game or before the season starts, head on over to BetOnline and start playing today. That's BetOnline, your online sportsbook experts. Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Now that's a dandy white perch.
Big old slab.
C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Sammy Hagar hammered out this classic hard rock tune, There's Only One Way to Rock. The Bible hammers out this hard rock truth, There's only one way to God. And this world can disagree. They don't understand how this must be. And it's not my point of view, it's a fact, and you know that it's true. There's only no way that Jesus and his disciples would willingly die for what they knew to be a lie. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
The Game Day Lodge in Branson is the perfect place for corporate retreats, golf trips, and team building activities. You'll find 10 bedrooms with 19 beds for up to 28 guests, 9 bathrooms, 17 TVs, poker table, 2 kitchens, 2 laundry rooms, a fire pit, 2 gas grills, outdoor basketball court, a heated indoor swimming pool nearby, and a 10-minute drive to Silver Dollar City. Not to mention near some of the best golf courses. Just search Game Day Lodge on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Airbnb, and VRBO.
You know, the start of the season is just around the corner.
On having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
For a limited time, Art's Barbecue and Burgers is serving up some great combo platters with all your favorite choices from Art's. Ribs and brisket, catfish and brisket, pulled pork and brisket, plus catfish and ribs. And you can add a hot link, sausage, or 2 tamales to any of the combo platters. Make your combo plate any way you want it to be. And don't forget, every Friday night is all-you-can-eat catfish at Art's. Art's Barbecue and Burgers, Rogers Avenue next to Buddy's in Fort Smith. Real smoked barbecue.
This is ESPN 95.3. Need a little bit more halftime in your life? Make sure to download the Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast. Eastside Liquor in Fort Smith has the best deals in the River Valley on liquor, beer, and wine. Stop by 9390 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith and make sure to check out their Facebook page for weekly specials. The Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast is part of the Hit That Line podcast network and is available wherever you listen to podcasts.
And I love it when our listeners do our work for us.
I do too.
I think we received as well. First,
they really don't want to hear NBA talk, apparently.
Well, I don't blame them. Halftime is brought to you by Crabtree RV Center in Alma. That is the RV dealership that's been serving the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas for over 70 years. 17-acre, 26,000-square-foot showroom floor right at the junction of I-40 and I-49 in Alma beside the Cracker Barrel. That's Crabtree RV Center, giving every family the best experience. Help you choose the right RV for your adventures. They'll fix you up with the service and parts department, everything you need. And the entire inventory for Crabtree RV, crabtreerv.com. All right, this segment will be called Ask and Ye Shall Receive. First up in this segment, Hog Fan in Rogers. Hey, Hog Fan, you're on halftime.
Hey, guys, thanks for taking my call.
No problem.
You got it.
And thank you. I was just able to tune in here recently, so I'm not sure if y'all discussed this yet or not. But I just want to get y'all's opinion on what happened there right before the half with going for it on fourth down. I mean, if you kick the field goal, you kind of really put, you put them really in a deeper hole. You're up 20-0 most likely going into half. They got to have 3 touchdowns, to take the lead. I mean, we kick another field goal. Basically, they're looking at 3 touchdowns in the field goal to catch up, or a bunch of 2-point conversions. But that, and then also the play call. I mean, going for it, not crazy about the play call there, but, I was just going to see what you guys thought about that and, them going for it there.
Well, Hog Fan,
one more
no,
thing.
we
also,
didn't get to that yet. We didn't get to that yet because we were talking about all the positive things first, and you're the first one to bring up a negative thing. So, but I appreciate that. Sam Pittman did mention in the post-game press, and he even did it before anybody asked the question. He said, before you ask, I would do that again. And I can see it from his perspective because in his eyes, I mean, if you got a 24-0 lead at the end of halftime against Texas A&M,
that's demoralizing.
Game, set, match. It feels different than 20-0 because it is. It's an extra score. So,
you have all the momentum in the world. If there is a point in the game, I mean, yeah, you'd like maybe some extra points, but if there's a point in a ball game when you can 100% feel confident about going for it on fourth down and it not going to absolutely kill you or come back to bite you, is when you're up by 7. When you're up 17-0 in the first half. Like if that isn't the time to go for it, I don't know what is.
Well, and also it feel like it gives it because you were at 3rd and 25, I think, when Burks made that great kind of one-handed catch to put you at 4th and 1, and that's a moment for a team that views themselves and have played the way that they view themselves, physical. We can run between the tackles. And I look, the first 2 plays of the game, they ran outside the tackles. But on 4th and 1, a team that views themselves and does play as being very tough wants to run it between the tackles. And I can understand, maybe the play call looked a little bit odd, because you got a running quarterback on 4th and 1. You're thinking KJ can just kind of take it himself.
And he's a pretty big dude. He can fall forward for, 3 feet?
I can understand the reasons that Coach Pittman went for it, even the play call in and of itself. It just didn't work out, which doesn't necessarily make it the wrong call. Appreciate the call, Hog Fan. Next up, Eddie. Eddie, you and I were texting a little bit during the game. You were eating Hog Delight before the end of the first half, Eddie. I mean, I felt like that might have been a little bit premature.
Can you do that? Are you allowed to eat Hog Delight before the end of the ballgame?
Well, Eddie said he was already eating it, but in the end, you got your steak and your wine, which is what we learned Hog Delight is. How did it taste for you on Saturday, Eddie? Probably a little better than the usual steak and wine.
Well, sir, Saturday night, I had a couple bowls of it. Then Sunday morning, I even had more bowls of it. But how great is this, gentlemen? I'm so proud of all the coaches. So proud of Coach Pittman. Coach Pittman, this fan base loves you again. Our athletic director, just for our great people of this state, our passionate fan base, and for these players, for laying it on the line and bringing the recipe. I sat on the morning rush early Friday morning. I got up pumped. I mean, I could feel it. I could smell the recipe baking in the oven. And I tell you something else, gentlemen. Win or lose a game this Saturday in Athens, what we accomplished Saturday, it don't get any better but a win this Saturday in Athens, Georgia. Like I said, I don't know if we're going to win. I'll take the bet. I'll take the line. That's what I want Georgia thinking. This is a cakewalk. Well, we got a defense ran.
Eddie, appreciate the phone call, man. Thank you for listening to our show. I kind of was right on my expectation of what the score would be. I thought it would be 21-17. You end up with 30 total points. Do you really expect to see a lot of points between two of the best defenses in the country at Sanford Stadium on Saturday? I didn't even look at what the over-under is, but I'm already
the
ready
fact
to take the under.
And I'm about to put this month's rent on the Hogs to cover 18.5. That's a lot of points. I know Georgia is getting better offensively. I know they could have scored 100 against Vandy, but that's Vandy, who had 77 total yards. 18.5, that is way too many points right now. That line's going to go down by Friday. I expect it'd probably be somewhere around 10 by the time we get to the end of the week. But if you're out there, I know it's the first of the month. If you can hold off to pay your rent on Friday or on the 5th, you might have a big payday. That's what I'm going to do.
All right, we got to get to one more call before the break. Connor O'Gara from Saturday Down South joins us after the next break. Cody, what's going on, man? I know you're fired up. What do you think? What's the most? What impresses you the most about this Arkansas football team 4 games in?
I'm going to say the thing that, first off, good afternoon, guys. I would have to say what impresses me the most is we have without a doubt made a change and a turn. Back in the day, or like during the other eras, every time in the last 2 games, Texas and A&M, Texas, you had an instance that first drive when we muffed the punt, or you just kind of feel like negative energy going on, something that go our way. The team actually gets through that. They persevere, and then they turn it into good things. They don't quit. The whole mood doesn't change the reflection of the game, and it's good just to see solid leadership, strength, mental strength, things like that back in the program. What I think is going on is Arkansas will always be a 6 to 8 winning games a year. What it shows you is you just need somebody who's halfway knowledgeable and knows how to coach a team. Morris era, that all came down to having a terrible staff. We've got to make sure that we've got the right staff in place. But another thing I really wanted to talk to you about, Phil, was, man, Gino gets fired up during the pregame, your guys' pregame calls. Wouldn't you agree that he's hilarious to listen to before the game?
I'm sorry, Cody. I didn't quite get that last comment you made there.
Gino. I was talking about your guys' pregame show with Gino, how fired up he gets. It's awesome to listen to, man.
Yeah, Gino's ready to take the field at a moment's notice. But he also comes, he's a former Razorback player. He played during a pretty good era. And I feel, for him, that pride that I sense he played with is what he sees as well. And more than anything, and I know we got to hit the break, what impresses me the most about this Arkansas team right now is defensive line play and specifically the depth. Even losing Dorian Gerald, you have 9 players on the defensive line that are rotating in and out. And the third stringers are getting playtime at big moments. It's not like these third stringers are coming in when the game is decided. And
you feel like you have confidence in all 9 of them to make the play when they need to make the play.
And I feel
hey,
like
Phil, one more thing. Phil,
go ahead, Cody. No, go ahead.
Hey, how about the Cardinals winning streak, though? That's the last thing I'll say, but I wanted to make sure that was noticed, too. The Cardinals are on an unbelievable run right now, and we face the Brewers for a 3-game stretch. Brewers have locked the division up, but that's going to be a hell of a series, guys. But anyway, y'all have a good one. I'm proud of the Hogs. Big ball game Saturday. Y'all have a good one.
Thanks, Cody.
The thing about the Cardinals winning streak that just gets me is that they're still going to end up in a 1-game playoff. So even with this incredible stretch that they've been in, the postseason,
which is why the wild card game should never be a thing. It's stupid.
1 game. It feels so unfair.
It's so stupid.
It should come down to that. Yeah, and Sean from Greenwood hits on what I think is impressing him the most right now, Trey Williams. And we'll go to the break with this thought. This defensive line is built through grad transfers and incoming freshmen that have been developed. Trey Williams, John Ridgway, Markel Utsi, I think have become better here with this coaching staff, but these are, sort of like grown men in the view of college football. Jashad Stewart, Zach Williams, Eric Gregory, Torian Carter, Mateo Soli, Isaiah Nichols. These are all Razorback recruits, for some of them from the previous coaching staff who have been coached up by this staff and have become real SEC defensive linemen. That's what impresses me the most about this team. We'll see what Connor O'Gara thinks after this on Halftime.
Halftime is brought to you by Crabtree RV Center. 4 generations making your family dreams come true.
New FanDuel fantasy players. Your day is about to get 20% better. Start playing fantasy this football season, and FanDuel will give you a 20% bonus on your first deposit, up to $500. That's a big-time bonus, and all you need to do to claim it is make your first deposit. If you've never tried FanDuel, now is the perfect time to jump in. You'll love playing fantasy football on FanDuel. Not only is it easy to start, but you can set new lineups every game day, keeping the action fresh all season long. There are many types of game formats to choose from, and you can even play private contests with your friends. There's an awesome slate of games on hand this week and every week. So what are you waiting for? Get in on all the excitement and experience season-long wins without the season-long waits. Sign up today at FanDuel.com/play to claim your bonus and start playing today. That's FanDuel.com/play. Age and location restrictions apply. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires after 30 days.
It's fall in the River Valley, and that means cooler temperatures in the morning, pleasant temperatures in the afternoon. One of the other things you can count on in the fall, the red-hot deals continue at Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. If you're looking for a new F-150, if you're looking for new Mustangs, if you're looking for quality check pre-owned vehicles, the place to stop is 5500 Rogers Avenue at Randall Ford. Fourth oldest Ford dealership in America, my friend, right here in your own backyard. Stop in and see us today.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Gelco for hard work and the great outdoors.
With quality and price and comfort you like, and savings that you're looking for.
We've got the shoes and boots, steel toes too, outerwear and a whole lot more.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Gelco
for hard work and the great outdoors.
Looking for a fence company that will provide the personal touch to your fence or gating project? Call Dusty's Fence Company at 479-629-4190. Dusty's Fence Company specializes in custom wood design, vinyl fencing, chain link and ornamental iron projects, and they can even stain your fence to complete your project. Family owned and in business for 20 years, you will deal with the same person from start to finish. That's Dusty's Fence Company, 479-629-4190.
Joe's Grill and Cantina is the only place to watch the Hogs. Watch every game at Joe's. Enjoy half-price apps and taps during the game. And with TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat. Half-price appetizers like brisket nachos, Mexican pizza, 10-layer dip, or Joe's humongous sampler platter. All half-price. And all beers on tap are half-price. Watch every Hog game at Joe's. Half-price apps and taps during every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina. 3400 South 74th Street across from Harps.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources, where it's finally time for our end of summer clearance. We've been busy all summer helping more people than ever get the nicer, newer cars they need, and now it's time to flip our inventory. Over 120 Rath Road Ready cars, trucks, and SUVs, all priced to save you money now. Some with discounts up to $4,800 below retail. Plus, we're putting every deal together with extra for trades and fast, easy financing through the top local credit unions and the nation's best banks and lenders. If you've been waiting for the best time to buy a premium pre-owned vehicle, now is the time, and Rath Auto Resources is the place. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center with half-off brakes, buy 3, get 1 free on all tires, and up to $100 rebate when you use your Meineke credit card. Get the nicer, newer car you've been wanting today and save up to $4,800 during the end of summer clearance at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
Requires bank approval. Negative equity may be refinanced.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
Took a 911 about 107 down a back road.
The Razorbacks have won it for the first time since 2003. The Hogs are 4-0. They snap a 9-game losing streak to Texas A&M. There's no students flooding the field tonight, but these Razorbacks are on the field and they're celebrating, Quinn Grovey.
Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
Welcome back on halftime here. I didn't hear the intro, so I wasn't quite sure what was going on there.
Oh, I played it.
Yeah, we played.
We heard it on our end. Maybe,
we were wondering where you were.
You know what's going on?
I think I've missed a couple of things.
They took somebody took the board out of audition, so the stuff I was playing in studio, aside from the comeback music, Phil was not hearing. He didn't hear the highlights of the final call. He didn't hear the comeback. So
I just heard a song that
Thanks,
I'm ready
Ty.
to hear. That's pretty much it. All right, well, let's go to Connor O'Gara, who's joining us here from Saturday Down South. Connor, sorry for getting you a little bit late. We had so much people calling in to want to talk about NBA Media Days, so got you on about 5 minutes late. So how about Arkansas over Texas A&M? The question has been, what impresses you the most about this Razorback football team in 2021? Let me ask you that question, see what you think.
You know, guys, if you wanted to just play Chris Stapleton for the next 10 minutes, we could have just done that, and I could have just, gone and had some lunch or something. I'd be perfectly okay with that. I love me some Chris Stapleton. Don't get it twisted. This Arkansas team, who I came into the year saying, I think that defensively you're going to see the turnaround. You're really going to see what it's going to look like when they have those numbers. That's been most impressive. And not to pat myself too much on the back here for predicting a 4-0 start with a Texas sweep, but
you were correct.
Say this. The way that they have dominated in the trenches is beyond what I thought they would be capable of, because the identity of this team is so clear. And you look around college football right now, right? You look at teams like an Oklahoma, like a Texas A&M or a Clemson, whoever it is, and these teams who we expected to be in the playoff race and to be competing for a national championship, these teams don't know what their identity is 4 games in. And Arkansas has such a clear identity, and that's the value of having these veterans, of having so many of these super seniors, having a Grant Morgan and Hayden Henry and Jalen Catalon. And Jalen Catalon's younger, so I shouldn't really lump him into that group. But still, you see that veteran leadership, and they're always one step ahead. Barry Odom's game plan was night and day better than whatever Jimbo Fisher was putting out there. I mean, that A&M offensive game plan was terrible. It was horrible, but it was up to Arkansas to be able to capitalize. And if you're not going to ask Barry Odom to make adjustments, he's going to be just fine sitting back and drop 8 coverage and doing what Arkansas does best. And they did. And to me, that was so impressive to do what they did in that environment, knowing the streak that was hanging over them. I continue to be impressed with Arkansas each and every week.
So the messaging from Sam Pittman is so important in the way that he speaks to everybody. And you've had one-on-one with him before, so I think you get a sense of that too. So much of what's going on, some of it is happening with a lot of players that have been here for 3, 4, 5 years. And, one of the things Coach Pittman did was make sure that the team bulked up, got bigger, got stronger, especially positions that they needed to. But aside from that, he's made this team about the players. His pregame message to the team was, all you got to be is you for 3 hours. There's some coaches that don't take credit, don't take glory themselves. You don't buy that humbleness from them, that humility. From Sam Pittman, these players believe in themselves because he makes it about them.
And he absolutely deserves so much credit for that. And it's knowing how to handle the spotlight as well that he's done such a good job with so far. And that's not given, it's just not. And I wrote something coming into this season that there's no guarantee that Arkansas now with expectations exceeds those expectations. And just because we saw them exceed a very low bar last year doesn't mean that that's given this year. And there's pressure on that coaching staff to make sure that these guys are buying in still, and they're not necessarily trying to do their own thing just because, hey, you won a few games and people are saying, oh, you should have won 4 games and Sam Pittman should have been SEC Coach of the Year. Cool, that's all well and good, but how do you take that to the next level? Well, you do exactly what they've done so far, and they just look so prepared every single week. I've loved their game plan. Maybe they're going to get into some of these games moving forward, perhaps starting this weekend against Georgia, where they have to throw the football a little bit more, and you can't necessarily rely on the game flow that they want. But so far, so good, and it's tough not to just keep heaping praise onto this coaching staff for the job that they've done.
Yeah, Sam Pittman, Kendall Briles, Barry Odom, they all deserve as much credit as any player out there on the field because we've obviously seen the transformation that so many of them have taken under those three's leadership. On the flip side, though, as far as coaches go, you have the second highest paid coach in college football in Jimbo Fisher, And it felt like, you talk to A&M people, it felt like this was the year that they were truly going to contend. Now, honestly, sitting from an Arkansas perspective, you hope it still can be for them. You hope that they go somewhere around 11-1 because you were that one loss. But how should A&M fans, and from their perspective, how do you think they're viewing this loss as it's just another year that A&M is going to A&M, or Arkansas is really that good?
I think they're looking at this saying, how in the world is our program paying $90 million for that? Because that offensive game plan was bad. And it's not a good enough excuse to just say, well, there's a backup quarterback in there. Okay, he's struggling. Zach Calzada has struggled against decent competition. He struggled against Colorado up until those 2 late drives, and he struggled all day against Arkansas. Why is it so that Arkansas is able to be one step ahead of A&M each and every time, and it looks like they know exactly what A&M is going to do? Why is it that A&M can't run the football when there's drop eight coverage all day? Why is it that Isaiah Spiller gets a 67-yard touchdown and then doesn't get a carry for the rest of the game? That's just inexcusable. You can't have that. Jimbo Fisher failed. He failed on Saturday. It's as simple as that. And A&M fans should be frustrated because that was a winnable game, especially when KJ Jefferson goes out, and you've got an opportunity there. And if they can come back and get into that game, and, of course, the Monteric Brown interception changed the entire flow of that and the comeback potential for A&M, but that was sitting right there. And you had an offensive game plan that just did not work. They didn't stretch the field. They didn't find Jalen Weidemeyer in space, and they didn't run the football the way that they should have in the volume that they should have. So if I'm an A&M fan, I'm frustrated, and I'm wondering how they're going to be able to grind through an SEC schedule without Haynes King for the next few weeks. And there's no guarantee that Haynes King is going to be the answer to their problems right now. A&M has some issues despite the fact that defense is so good. But offensively, man, they are really limited. 2 touchdowns in 2 games against Power 5 competition. That's just not good enough.
Looking forward to this week, College Game Day, everything that goes with that, Fowler, Herbstreit, and just having the national spotlight. With this Georgia team, do you expect I'm not going to say expect that offense to be anywhere near what they were last week because, let's face it, it's against Vanderbilt. I mean, heck, me, Maddie, you, and Phil could get, another 7 guys, and we could run out there and put some points up on Vandy. They're that bad. What kind of game do you expect it to be? Do you expect it to be closer to Georgia-Clemson, 10-3, a real knockout, a knuckle-draggle type of defensive game, or do you see JT Daniels in Georgia, putting some points on, and hopefully Arkansas, KJ Jefferson, and everybody else will be able to counteract and get some points of their own?
Well, Georgia wants balance, and it hasn't necessarily needed to put up significant points yet in one of these teams because their defense is so unbelievably good. And if you're Arkansas, I don't know that you really want to run the ball as much. You need KJ Jefferson to be healthy. You need Treylon Burks to be at his absolute best. And you need him to be the first guy to really put pressure on this Georgia defense that, they're not a perfect secondary. They're really not. Josh Vann, the South Carolina receiver, had some success against this Georgia secondary. But the issue is that when they can get home with only sending a 4-man rush, I mean, that's a difficult thing. And they cause communication problems on that offensive line. They just send dudes on top of dudes on top of dudes. It's a great showcase game for this Arkansas offensive line because it's not going to get any tougher than that. It's really not. You can make the case that Georgia has the best defensive line in all of college football with Jordan Davis and Devontae Wyatt and Jalen Carter up front. So it is a fascinating test. Georgia better hope that it isn't one of those 7-3 type games because that's where Arkansas is comfortable. And I think that Georgia would much rather see Arkansas have to throw the football and have to get some of these 3rd and longs. But I don't think that necessarily happens.
Connor, a couple other things I want to get to. We got about 3 minutes in order to do it. I see the over-under line for Mississippi, Alabama is 77.5 right now. I mean, my goodness. And I know these are 2 offenses that are performing at an extremely high level right now. And, you never really question Alabama's defense necessarily. We question Ole Miss's defense a lot more. And I guess we'll find out about both of them on Saturday.
Yeah, they're daring you to take the over with that. And my goodness, you don't take the under in a game like this because Bryce Young and Matt Corral are playing the position at such a high level. That's why they're the Heisman Trophy favorites right now. And these offenses are going to empty the bag. There is no doubt about it. We're going to see all of it. And I'm glad that Ole Miss kind of gets a bye week, get a little bit healthier coming into this game. And, this Ole Miss defense is better. It's better than what it was last year. That's been the key storyline so far for the first 3 games that they've played. And I think that you're going to see what Alabama is truly capable of on the offensive side. And they're going to try and stretch the field. They're going to try and do things that Louisville couldn't do in that opening week matchup against Ole Miss. So it's a great, great fun game. I'm so excited for this. I hope the over hits in that one because we deserve a quarterback matchup that is reminiscent of last year what we got in the SEC championship.
Well, and we should be looking forward to the lead up to this game too, with Lane Kiffin's radio show and Nick Saban's weekly explosion on the Alabama media. I just can't wait for all of it. Last thing I want to hit on here is feels like we've got a full-on quarterback controversy on the Plains at Auburn. Bo Nix couldn't get it done against Georgia State. Former LSU quarterback T.J. Finley, now at Auburn, did get it done. And if I'm Brian Harsin, I'm starting the quarterback who was able to beat Georgia State.
To win the game, yeah.
Right? Isn't that what you would do?
Probably. And I say that as somebody who's been kind of down on Bo Nix, but T.J. Finley, this would be starting against his former school. I mean, that's a crazy thing to think about. Death Valley at night. This is somebody who didn't even experience Death Valley at night with full capacity last year because of reduced crowd. Mm-hmm. So do you worry about him having too much juice? I don't know. We saw Brian Harsin's leash was very short with Bo Nix after I thought he did all right against Penn State, and he could have did some things better, but didn't necessarily cost them that game. So, yeah, I would probably go with Finley, but at the same time, if there's some resistance on Harsin's side, I kind of get it, knowing what's at stake for Finley and knowing what that game is going to be to him.
All right. Connor, we'll leave it there. We'll do
Appreciate
it again
it,
Monday
Connor.
next week. Thanks for your time, as always.
Sounds good. Appreciate it, guys.
You got it. That's Connor O'Gara, Saturday Down South. Give him a follow at CJ O'Gara. And it is SaturdayDownSouth.com. The texts are coming in. Our question for today, and we don't do this every day, but this is a day to ask a question like this. What impresses you the most about Arkansas football 4 games in? And if you want to go to what impressed you most against A&M, have at it, because we can do that too. And if you don't come with any ideas or comments about that, watch out, because Drew is ready to break down the entire Minnesota Timberwolves roster.
NBA Media Days today, baby. I'm ready.
He's ready like nobody else is.
The only way to keep me from doing it is keep calling and texting.
You know why? Because nobody else is ready for it. So be a good sport, be a good listener, and do our work for us on halftime.
Phil Elson and Ty Richardson are behind enemy lines in Athens this weekend.
Gentlemen, I want to make one thing clear before we leave.
Their safety is secured by Reed's Metals of Benton.
Any man who doesn't wish to join this mission, step away right now.
Additional protection comes from Big Red Stores in Central Arkansas.
All right, then. Let's go get our boy back.
Fridays is bringing a world of flavor to your table. Come by your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 and Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith and explore new appetizers and cocktails inspired by Fridays around the world. New appetizers like Wing Around the World and the Potato Skin Passport. Check out our new ultimate cocktails like the Double Berry Mojito. Stop in or order online for convenient curbside pickup at Fridays.com. Come taste a world of flavor at your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 and Rogers in Fort Smith.
Are you in need of roofing repairs or maybe more? Construction Master Roofing, who has been under new management since 2019 with over 25 years of experience, is who you need to call. Estimates are free, and military, first responders, and medical workers receive 5% off. Construction Master Roofing guarantees their work, and the number you need to call is 648-8888 in the River Valley, and in Oklahoma, call 918-859-4714. Construction Master Roofing, the roofing company that cares and gets the job done.
Let Carco Car Sales, formerly Hertz Car Sales, show you how easy it is to buy a quality used car. Carco Auto Sales has been serving the River Valley in eastern Oklahoma for over 40 years and believe in fair prices, superior service, and treating people right. The friendly and knowledgeable staff is here to help you find the car you deserve, priced right to fit your budget, so you can leave with a peace of mind knowing that you are getting a quality, well-maintained vehicle. Come see the team at Carco Auto Sales, formerly Hertz Car Sales, at 2810 Midland Boulevard today. Give them a call at 783-1722 or check them out at buyfromcarco.com. Carco Auto Sales, when you're ready.
Law's Drugstore in Fort Smith has COVID vaccinations available today for you and your family. Law's Drugstore has the Pfizer vaccine for ages 12 and up. The vaccine is safe and effective in preventing severe cases of COVID. Just call 452-6116 to schedule your appointment or stop by Law's Drugstore at 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family. Call them now, 452-6116.
Have you been looking for your next place to call home and just haven't found the right one? Then it's time to check out the properties at Trinity Multifamily. With a variety of apartments, duplexes, townhomes, and houses, there is surely one to fit your needs. Whether it's in the River Valley, Northwest Arkansas, or Central Arkansas that you are looking at, they have you covered. Give them a call today. Trinity Multifamily, 479-452-1817. That's 479-452-1817. Or online at trinitymultifamily.com to search rental properties near you.
Your company is known for top pay and great salaries, but how do your benefits compare to the competition? Hi, this is Brett Good with Henderson Phillips. In today's competitive labor market, great pay is no longer enough. Call me at 479-651-2292 and let's discuss your benefit plans to make sure your company has what it needs to attract and retain the best talent. I am Brett Good with Henderson Phillips. Call me today, 479-651-2292. That's 651-2292.
Hey, Grounds guys.
Hey, what?
Now that fall is here, my flower beds are looking awful. Is there anything y'all can do to help me with that?
You called the right place. The Grounds guys, you can leave the yard work to us by cleaning up your flower beds, adding in some nice fall color, putting in some fresh mulch, cleaning up all the leaves and twigs out of your yard, whatever it is you need to keep your home's curb appeal looking great all year. That's what we specialize in. Call 479-303-GUYS. That's 303-4897 and say,
Hey, Grounds guys.
And get $25 off any fall service.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our #1 volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the #1 soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
This is ESPN 95.3.
There's a woman going crazy on Caroline Street, stopping every man that she does meet, saying if you'll be gentle, if you'll be sweet, I'll show you my place on Caroline Street.
Zach Calzada is going to throw. Overthrow, Spiller deflected and intercepted. Picked off by Monteric Brown. He dove to get it out at the Aggie 48. The tip drill.
Find us on 99.5 and 1290 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
All right, what impresses you the most about Arkansas football? Is it the ability to dominate on the defensive line? Is it the rushing attack? Is it the big play offense? This team right now is third in the nation, averaging just under 18 yards per catch. That's something else.
That's pretty good.
When we look at the box score from
last time I checked, that's 3 over a first down. So
9 completions, 246 yards. Against A&M, 6 completions of 20 yards or more, totaling 225 yards. So pretty much all of your passing yards came on 6 plays, just about. 4 of those were to Traylon Burks. One of them was the wide receiver pass by Warren Thompson. You know, you had a 21-yard pass to Tyson Morris, and A.J. Green took that wheel route and turned it into just a beautiful play. So we've got Robert on hold here, and Robert, I'm assuming you've got something that's most impressive to you for this Razorback football team. And, oh, by the way, congratulations on picking Arkansas's win over A&M properly. Well done.
Oh, thank you, Phil. Phil, have you ever been to Athens for a football game?
No. Been there for lots of baseball, been there for lots of women's basketball, never for football.
Well, I got to go when we beat them. When we had Bob, Bobby was there and we won when Ryan Mallett. And I'm going to tell you, it's a cool place to go. You'll like it. And there's even a spot where they bury all the Uggas at the stadium. You'll see the roses over there. It's on the home side.
a cool little place it's a cool atmosphere. There's a Mayflower, if it's still there, little restaurant in the square. It's not going to be the best restaurant you ever had, but it's not a bad place for early morning. If you got to grab something to eat and get to the game. But, you'll like it.
It sounds good. I love Athens. It's my favorite place in the SEC.
Never been.
I love the city. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, you'll see some things. So the best thing, I think, is the resilience of this team, because we could have given up like we have over the years, and we're not now. We're actually fighting back. And, we'll take some punches in the mouth, and we're coming back fighting, and we're winning. And if we can win this game and Ole Miss wins, oh, man, that's going to be unreal, because then the perennial powers of the SEC took a loss.
Are you even allowing yourself? It sounds to me, Robert, like you are allowing yourself to dream a little bit here.
We're opening that door. That's the door we're going to open.
I don't blame you. I really don't. I would give Arkansas right now a fighters/punchers chance against anybody.
It's not the Arkansas side of that door that saying, we're really going to open or entertain that. It's the fact that somebody thinks that Ole Miss is actually going to beat Alabama. I don't think they have any shot at it. Now, can they beat the spread? Sure, but I don't think they win.
I'll do that thing later on.
I'm sorry.
Well, no, that's all right. That's all right. And it's expected that should be a pretty good game, I think, in Tuscaloosa. But that game being in Alabama, it's the same thing that you would give Georgia. All this. They're playing a home game against Arkansas. In your own building, it's a heck of a lot easier. But 11 o'clock in the morning,
could get anybody.
Game day there. See, there you go. Halftime's right back. 3 up, 3 down.
You've had the hand-breaded chicken sandwich at Hardee's, but have you tried it with crispy bacon, melty Swiss, and their new hot honey sauce? It's the ultimate flavor of sweet and heat. Get it while you can, because this honey has some bite. Taste the sweet heat for yourself with the new hot honey hand-breaded chicken sandwich at Hardee's. Go get it now.
Feed your happy. Available for a limited time at participating Hardee's restaurants. Price and participation may vary.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is growing and looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building experience or you have welding skills, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay, health, dental, and vision benefits. Join the top fence building team in the state. The Fence Man. Apply today in person. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Wave Rural Connect is bringing state-of-the-art fiber internet, TV, and phone service to your home. Get amazingly fast fiber internet as low as $49.95 per month. TV packages start at $32.95. Fiber phone service starts at $29.95. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-4WAVE-RC to find out if we're installing in your area. Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
When fun finally returns, Bud Light legends don't just come back. They come roaring back, carrying a cooler full of Bud Lights, an inflatable dolphin, and those Velcro pads with the balls that stick to them. And this summer, with a cooler at their side, they're gonna make up for all the fun we've missed. Welcome back, Bud Light legends. It's time to take summer by the coolers. Cooler up at BudLightLegends.com. Enjoy responsibly. 2021 AB Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, plenty of sunshine. Our high this afternoon into the upper 80s to near 90. Mainly clear sky tonight and overnight low in the low to mid 60s. Tuesday, a slight chance of showers and storms across the south. Our high into the upper 80s. And we'll continue to see a chance of showers and storms midweek. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Catch Sam Pittman live every Wednesday night at 7. Only on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
It's fast.
It's exciting.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3. Live from the Busch Light Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
And this one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
Fans are amazing. It is lit down here on the sideline.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Here come the students. Oh, here come the students. They're coming from the south end, and this one has been a long time brewing.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
And into the second hour of Halftime on a gorgeous Monday across the natural state. Phil Elson, Matty T, Drew Barrett. No guest with us for the second hour, so you can keep flooding us with your NBA Media Days texts.
I'm ready for all the answers. I got all the answers up in this noggin. Deep dove this weekend. That's all I did.
Deep dove in, right? Yeah, I got a lot of questions about the Clippers and the Celtics. And
ask away.
Nothing for you on any of that stuff. I was kidding.
Once again, I do all this research just for Phil to shoot me down and tell me I can't do it.
Well, if I had
spent so much time.
If I had a fourth down today, it would be NBA Media Days. But I didn't even acknowledge it as we get into our usual Monday fun segment, 3 Up, 3 Down.
It's like a calling card or a shout out or something. That sucked. The best of the best of the best of the best of the best.
What does 3 up and 3 down mean to you, Airman?
End of an inning. Well, that's not the worst part.
What is the worst part?
It's time for 3 Up, 3 Down.
Three Up, 3 Down is brought to you today by the Fence Man. When it comes time for new gates and fence repairs at your home, you need to be calling the Fence Man. It should be your only call. They do it all. Large commercial jobs, small residential repairs, wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial, residential chain link, or custom wrought iron fencing. The Fence Man does it all. 479-782-3936. The number for the Fence Man. 18 months, same as cash financing available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. He ain't afraid of no work. First up, just goes to Twitter. Twitter is just so much fun.
It's a great thing, isn't it?
It's just such a it's really a great snapshot of reality, I think, especially to Bobby Bones. Big up for Bobby Bones for some of his early morning tweeting today. So my down is to the stuff that I got involved with on Twitter last night and this morning. And I don't think I insulted anybody. There was nothing to insult anybody about. My whole point. There was a fan last night that tweets the idea that if you didn't stay quote unquote loyal in Razorback football's worst years, then you shouldn't be a fan now. So I mean, I guess in his mind, it's all the idea of what loyalty is. I mean, is it stop identifying as a fan? Is it throw all of your jerseys and pennants and stuff in a pile and set them on fire, or is it just not watching because you can't deal with it anymore? My whole thing about what you are experiencing right now is don't make it about fan hierarchies.
Exactly.
Don't make it about somebody's getting more enjoyment out of this because I watched all of the torturous games. I watched North Texas. I was there for Western Kentucky. All of that stuff. It doesn't matter. Who cares? Let's just enjoy
the only person
ride.
that cares is the person that tells you that they're through the whole thing. And ultimately, once you get it, and it really doesn't matter because once you do get to this point, everybody's going to say that they were there, that they stuck it out, that they packed Donald W. Reynolds Razorback Stadium for every single game, that they went on every road trip.
And yeah, and where do you draw
we're
the
gonna
line?
we're gonna have 1 million people at some point say, yeah, I was there. Well, no, you weren't, because I mean we have receipts, we have attendance.
Well,
does it really matter that you realistically was there?
I had a cardboard cutout there. That counts.
Did you really?
No.
Oh.
even Maddie, even BE makes a good point here. He says, look, nobody was loyal during the Morris years. You had 15 to 20,000 in some of these games.
What about the John L. Smith year? Was everybody loyal then?
Are those the only fans that are allowed to
be happy?
Now?
No.
Here's what's happening for this
I've been
Razorback
through
football team right now.
Stretches like that as well.
This is what's happening. Fans want to root for great stories. They want to root for underdogs, and that's for people that are outside the state, that are outside the boundaries of what Razorback Nation is. Right now, the Arkansas Razorbacks are the darlings of college football. There are fans across the country that have never even sniffed Arkansas, never even been near the state, that want to root for this team. And there are fans who have grown up in this state that are lifelong Razorback fans that could not stand to watch near the end of 2018 and for most of 2019, if not all of it. I don't blame them. That was torturous. We watched it because we're paid to talk about this, and it was painful. I don't blame you. But now you're at a point where it's like this is what you've been waiting for all these years, to be relevant again, to be
There's room for everybody,
game
man.
3 times.
It's both plenty big.
There's room for everybody. And it's like Eddie from Clarksville says, hop aboard the hog train. Let's have some fun. Stop ranking fans and stop ranking your experience as a fan. That's my first step.
Well, and honestly, to elaborate on that point, we talk about other fan bases, your big national brands like your Alabamas, Ohio States, and unfortunately you have to throw in that Texas when you talk about it. And not on airways or, in media, but water cooler talk, just your friends talking, you see somebody with an Alabama hat on. You're like, is he really an Alabama fan? Or is he circa 2008 Alabama fan? You kind of have those nitpicky arguments, and that's all in good fun. But when it's about your own team, you want people to go out and buy Razorback hats. You want people to go out and buy jerseys and be bandwagon fans, because it's not every day, it's not every year that you have a wagon that people want to jump on. Just enjoy you've got a big wagon right now and let everybody on. It doesn't matter. I think in the grand scheme of things, more money goes to the university, more attention, more eyeballs is on the university that you love and you cheer for and that you respect. Isn't that what you want? Does it matter whose eyeballs they are? Really?
I want to go into your first up in a moment, but to answer, Tristan texts in something that I saw a lot of other people tweet yesterday. That he says it undeniably means more to those that suffered through the Chad Morris era. How do you know that? How do you know?
How?
You have no idea. You can't guess whether or not it means more to somebody that went to every game that Arkansas played under Chad Morris. I have a feeling that to those who were lifelong fans but threw up their hands in 2019 or 2018 and said, I just
didn't want to
put
put yourself through it.
I can't do this. Do you really think that your experience means more than their experience right now? It doesn't work that way. You don't know if it means more to other people than it does you. You only know what it means to you. And you can't project that upon other people.
You don't. And I made this comment to you before the show. It's like that everyone knows that crazy girl that puts on social media, if you can't handle me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best. Well, that's because your worst is really bad and nobody wants to put themselves through that, okay? It's kind of the same thing.
Plenty of dudes like that too. Plenty of dudes like that as well.
All right, my first up to the greatest NFL kicker of all time, and there's no question about it, hands down, Justin Tucker for his made 66-yard game-winning field goal in the Ravens' 1917 win in Detroit over the Lions. Not only was it an NFL record for distance, it keeps Justin Tucker perfect on his career in final minute field goals. He is 16 of 16. That is clutch, my friend. He is also, I saw this statistic earlier. I want to say it was 52 consecutive field goals in the fourth quarter or later. That's 52. Nuts. That is clutch. That's how you do it.
Congratulations to your Ravens. They look like they bounced back nicely. And I got to stop reacting to week one like it means everything. And I'll get into my second down after you do your first.
All right, I'll do my first down. I'm just going to read this real quick. Final second field goals, like we just talked about, they can win you games. And final second field goals can lose you games depending on which side of the ball you're on. And unfortunately, my alma mater is on the losing side of that.
Oh, no.
After up 21-0 at the end of the fourth quarter, a quarter where the Roadrunners had 0 positive yards. The school that I am an alumnus of lost 31-28, and that's all I have to say about that.
Meanwhile, Razorback fans cheer that loss for your East-West Memphis Tigers because Barry Lenny Jr. is the coach at UTSA, former Razorback quarterback.
I saw a lot of support from Arkansas Twitter on that one. I was like, what the heck?
So they're very happy with your East-West Memphis
I mean, I had a good time. I was glad I was able to go back to Memphis, but it was kind of the same situation of, well, Miss Lincoln, other than the shooting, how did you enjoy the play?
Well said.
So.
Second up, Big Ben's time is up in Pittsburgh, I think. And, not all of it is on him, but, this offensive line looks like it's young, but a bit of a mess right now. I think there's some talent there, but you get 2 rookies on that offensive line. Roethlisberger's arm is nowhere near what it's been before. The deep ball's not really part of the game. He's averaged 5.5 yards per completion in the loss against yesterday. So it's I feel like Big Ben's time is up. Now, it's a Hall of Fame quarterback. Is he going to end his career on the bench the way Eli did? Mason Rudolph, are you next up? Oh, boy. Big Ben's time is up, and that's a second up for me. Second down, Boston College fans. Look, I get it. Your team's 4-0. You beat an SEC team up north in Boston in overtime.
But
dramatic moment, but it's Mizzou.
Come on.
It's Mizzou. If Kansas ever played Mizzou and beat them on a game like that, I get it. They're rivals. Is there anything that ever happened between, the city of Boston or anything in Missouri outside of, there's been a World Series or two, but that doesn't translate to college football. So I don't know. Maybe it would have made a little bit of more of a difference if it would have been, a really good SEC team. But storming the field after beating Mizzou, that's down for me.
Yeah, I don't blame you. My second up, going to go to the Redbirds, not the Memphis Redbirds, the St. Louis Cardinals, 16 straight wins, just playing the best type of baseball you possibly can be playing at this point. My second down, though, staying in baseball, it goes to Joe West, who was behind the plate at the Yankees-Red Sox game at Fenway Park off of Yawkey Way in Boston last night.
Good impression.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Joe West's strike zone was terrible, like a lot of the games he calls, but he may have I think he did cost the Red Sox a game in the top of the 8th inning with the Sox up 3-2 and a 2-2 count on Aaron Judge. Joe West said that a tip foul ball that was clearly caught and dropped on the transition was an actual foul ball, and that Judge got to stay at the plate. What does he do on the next pitch? Hits a double in the left. Yankees score 2. They go on to win the game and get the 1-game separation between them and Boston for the number 1 wild card spot. You know who my favorite umpire is in all of Major League Baseball, Phil?
You have one?
I do. And it's the one that
I didn't know anybody ever had one.
Oh, I do. And it's the guy that I don't know his name. Because that's the best part. The best umpire is the umpire that I have no idea who you are.
Oh, so it's not Angel Hernandez.
No.
Because everybody knows his name.
Yes, and it's definitely not Joe West.
All right, I got an extra up and an extra down after a moment. I got a third up. It's to the Orioles for clinching the American League's worst record.
We did it.
And you got 7 games, and you're tied with the Arizona D-backs for the worst record in Major League Baseball. My third down, these Cardinals winning 16 in a row, and I brought it up earlier, the 1-game Major League Baseball playoff. And I'm not calling it a series because 1 is not a series. It should be a series. I actually think a good idea is to play fewer regular season games in order to not have a 1-game playoff.
I'm with you. 100%.
You got 162. Bring it to 154. That's not that much of a difference. You get a better product in the postseason because of it. Anyway, that's another thing to get at. And my fourth up is to Treylon Burks for being the SEC Player of the Week offensively. My down goes to the voters because it's a co-offensive Player of the Week, and co sucks. Emory Jones deserves it, too. He had a great game for Florida, but we don't like the co-player thing. Make a choice.
Just one. Come on, it ain't that hard.
Go ahead, Drew.
All right, my third and final up to the U.S. Ryder Cup team. Played some very, very good golf over the weekend and got the win over Team Europe. My final down, though, I did all this research over the weekend. I broke down man-to-man. I broke down zones. I broke down different passing schemes that all the NBA players do. I broke down shots. Watched so much film for NBA Media Days, and apparently none of y'all want to hear about it. Like I worked hard, Phil.
Don't worry. Don't worry.
I worked hard.
We'll do an NBA segment like in February at some point.
Okay. All right.
So
when
just
save them all
done.
Yeah.
There's no more football. We'll do maybe 10 minutes on the NBA.
I was about to say, are we even going to get 10 minutes? Because that's when baseball starts.
Speaking of minutes, we got to take the break. We got a caller on hold first. Charlie, you're on halftime. How are you?
What's going on, guys? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we got you perfectly.
All right. Listen, I've been calling in, last few weeks, and I was really surprised again. I guess I keep saying that, but, now at this point I'm not surprised anymore. We are just, after the Texas game, I thought we are a really physical football team. Now let's see if we can go do it against a team like Texas A&M. Can we win the line of scrimmage? In the second half, one of the reasons why they started stopping us from running the ball is because when Malik went in there, they were just flat out selling out, trying to stop the run. They had way too many guys in there. We just couldn't block, all of them. But, KJ, to me, I know people, yes, there's their weaknesses in his game, definitely. But, there's no perfect, player. There's no perfect quarterback out there, and the Cam Newton comparisons to me are legit. I mean, I think, now, is he going to go number one overall? I'm not saying that. I'm not saying he's going to be the number one overall quarterback taken in the next draft, but just the size, his ability. Cam can throw the deep ball well. He's always struggled with some of the intermediate throws, and that's something I think KJ kind of struggles with. But look, at the end of the day, I think people saw. I mean, if you question why KJ is the starter anymore after that game the other day, and I'm not saying Malik's not going to wind up being a good player because he is, but just he just went in there. He did just his overall understanding of what's going on. He just wanted to run every play.
Charlie, I agree with you, man. And if I can cut in there for a moment, I think the thing with KJ right now is you have to, and you mentioned it, you have to respect that he A, has a big arm, and B, has weapons to throw to. And they've been so good. They're really good at finding ways to get Treylon Burks one-on-one. And there's no defense that wants to deal with that. But how many times did you get Burks one-on-one against Texas A&M? And KJ places that absolute perfect bomb right there in his fingertips. Yeah, KJ's the real deal. This is a good SEC quarterback. I don't think there's any doubt about that. You just got to make sure that bruised knee heals up properly, or that gel that they were using to dull the pain, well, start getting it on him on Thursday. Halftime's back after the break.
The start of the season is just around the corner, and if you're into sports betting, Bet Online is where you should go to win some money today. Whether it's live bets during games or future bets on who you think will win the championship, Bet Online has all the latest odds, news, and information for all your online sports betting needs. Visit the website today or use your mobile device to join and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. So before the next big game or before the season starts, head on over to Bet Online and start playing today. That's Bet Online, your online sportsbook experts. Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Sammy Hagar hammered out this classic hard rock tune, There's Only One Way to Rock. The Bible hammers out this hard rock truth, there's only one way to God. And this world can disagree. They don't understand how this must be. And it's not my point of view, it's a fact, and you know that it's true. There's only no way that Jesus and his disciples would willingly die for what they knew to be a lie. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
The Game Day Lodge in Branson is the perfect place for corporate retreats, golf trips, and team building activities. You'll find 10 bedrooms with 19 beds for up to 28 guests, 9 bathrooms, 17 TVs, poker table, 2 kitchens, 2 laundry rooms, a fire pit, 2 gas grills, outdoor basketball court, a heated indoor swimming pool nearby, and a 10-minute drive to Silver Dollar City. Not to mention near some of the best golf courses. Just search Game Day Lodge on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Airbnb, and VRBO.
You know, the start of the season is just around the corner, and if you're into sports betting, Bet Online is where you should go to win some money today. Whether it's live bets during games or future bets on who you think will win the championship, Bet Online has all the latest odds, news, and information for all your online sports betting needs. Visit the website today or use your mobile device to join and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. So before the next big game or before the season starts, head on over to Bet Online and start playing today. That's Bet Online, your online sportsbook experts. Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
1.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett. Want to jump in the conversation with the guys? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963.
Time has been announced-ish for the Ole Miss game. Either going to be the morning game on ESPN or the afternoon game on CBS. I guess that'll depend on what happens with the Alabama-Mississippi game and the Arkansas-Georgia game. And we'll figure that out. So you got to kind of have an ish for yourself for next Saturday. I like to know what we're doing the day that we're, 2 weeks ahead like they tell us. But this is the way it is. And in a couple of years, if there's one thing I'd love for college football to do, let's set the game times in stone months ahead.
Well, I'm sure teams and everybody else is right there on board with you, but the people that run college athletics, the TV companies, they want to make sure that they have the best matchups on at the best times. And you can't blame them. I mean, when they're paying the bill, they get to pick and choose.
See a note here from Razorback Communications on Twitter. And this is a new account, so if you have a Twitter account, everybody's on Twitter. Everybody.
I believe so.
Literally everybody is on Twitter. Razorback Comms is the Twitter account. It's worth a follow. It says through 4 games, KJ Jefferson is the only quarterback in the SEC with 800 passing yards and 200 rushing yards.
How about that?
And that feels like it makes him just a little bit unique, doesn't it? 844 yards on 46 completions, 59% completion rate, 6 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and he's run for a total net of 230 yards, 7.2 yards per carry. And he probably would have had better numbers had he not bruised his knee against Texas A&M. So
Which in all reports that you're, I mean, that's not that bad of an injury. I mean, it's just a little bruise, right? Like there is no need to worry.
Well, Sam Pittman is speaking to the media, I think, right now. So I'm sure that'll be something that gets asked. Other rankings for Arkansas as far as the stats are concerned, they have the third best rushing attack in the SEC, 261 yards a game, and the eighth best in the country. I love the way Traylon Smith runs. I love how he runs. And he initiates contact, and he runs guys over. And he can run between the tackles. He can run outside the tackles, but it's not just about Traylon Smith, you know. I mean, how about Dominique Johnson throwing the block of the year and then getting penalized for it?
Yeah, that was very unfortunate. But you're right. I mean, every single one of the running backs brings something different. I mean, Traylon Smith is can be. I mean, while he can be both, he's more of a in between the tackles type of guy, right? And then you have Rocket Sanders, who has that nickname for a reason. He's a bounce it outside, beat you on the sidelines type of runner. And then obviously Johnson and Green bring their own thing. So when you have multiple different guys that are good in their own right and can do multiple different things, that's why you have the eighth best rushing game in the country right now.
Well, you had 5 players with 6 carries or more, and both your quarterbacks were involved in that as well. So, I mean, and they rotate him in and out, you know, just the same as you see on the defensive line. The depth at these positions is greater than it's been in a long, long time for this Arkansas team. Nate texts in about the bruised knee, says it can take 2 to 3 weeks to heal. He can still play on it. You know, I mean, that is the kind of thing that can linger around for a little bit.
But it's something that you can play through. It's not and won't have long-term physical effects.
Well, I get like I said. I mean, there was this gel that KJ referred to in the post-game press conference that was applied to his knee after the hit, and he tried to go in after applying that stuff, but still was really shaky. And I mean, it looked by the end of the game that he might not have been feeling that pain or as much. So, you know, now that you know what you got to plan for going in, you get that gel on early, and hopefully he's
should be good to go.
Yeah, hopefully he's ready to go. 877-377-6963. Arkansas has the top passing yards per catch in the SEC. Third best in the nation, 17.9 yards per catch. They've gained 876 yards on 49 completions. And Jefferson, I mean, that also figures in Warren Thompson's pass, and Malik Hornsby's thrown 4. KJ himself, I think, is averaging, 23 yards per completion? That's nuts.
Yes.
That's absolutely nuts.
It's absolutely insane. And here's the crazy thing, Phil. We just spent the last 5-6 minutes talking about all these offensive statistics, right? They still feel like a defense first type of team.
You're right.
Like that's the crazy thing. Like they're getting compared to some of the best college defenses that we've seen in recent history. But that's not the actual story. That it just shows how balanced this team is when it's viewed as defense first, hard-nosed, out-physical you on the defensive side of the ball. And then, the offense, they'll score. They'll score enough, Like we've seen a lot of NFL teams like that. 85 Bears, the 2000 Ravens with Trent Dilford. I mean, come on, that wasn't that great of an offense. But defense is what won the championship. And they're viewed in kind of that same category. But also, we just went over how they could also be a top 10 offense in the country.
Well, they're definitely a top 10 defense right now. Third best in the SEC, 12th in total defense nationally, 267 yards allowed per game. And, I mean, this is also going up against two head coaches who are known to be offensive geniuses that didn't really look the part when they faced up against Barry Odom's defense, Sarkisian and Jimbo Fisher. They are also third best in the SEC, eighth best in the country at limiting passing yards to 144.2 per game. The pass rush, 10 sacks, giving up just 4. And they are best in the SEC and 10th in the nation at a statistic that they really struggled at last year, which was third down defensive efficiency, 28%. And that means they're succeeding on first and second down, too.
I mean, that might be what I am most impressed by. It is the complete 180 this defense has done. I'm not saying they were terrible last year, but they have become a force, and it just shows you what Barry Odom really can do in a non-COVID real situation. Yes, we're still dealing with it, but you didn't have all the same effects that you had in 2020. You know, able to get his playbook in, teach his system, and it's working. I mean, who would literally think that with a 3-man front dropping 8, these would be the numbers that you would get?
All right, we'll be back after the break. 877-377-6963. Your thoughts on Arkansas football and what impresses you most so far. We'll be right back.
Halftime is brought to you by Crabtree RV Center. 4 generations making your family dreams come true.
Bland meat? Rub it snout. Bland veggies? Rub it snout. Bland snacks? Rub it snout. Rub it snout all grub rubs enhance the flavor of any food. Get yours today. Your taste buds will forever thank you. Spread the rub. Go to rubitsnout.com to place your order and see where Rub It Snout products are sold. Rub It Snout ships anywhere in the U.S. and offers free local delivery. Please like and share our pages on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Rub It Snout.
When it comes to baling, the denser, the better. Williams Tractor in Fayetteville, Berryville, and Bobcat in Northwest Arkansas can show you how roll belt round balers produce denser and higher quality round bales that drive down your production costs while driving up the nutrition of your bales. A competitive comparison showed New Holland roll belt round balers provide savings in net wrap, transportation, and lower storage losses. It's like being able to afford a new baler every other year. Stop by Williams Tractor in Fayetteville, Berryville, and Bobcat in Northwest Arkansas soon to learn firsthand about the benefits of roll belt round balers.
Wave Rural Connect is bringing state-of-the-art fiber internet, TV, and phone service to your home. Get amazingly fast fiber internet as low as $49.95 per month. TV packages start at $32.95. Fiber phone service starts at $29.95. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-4WAVE-RC to find out if we're installing in your area. Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
September is here, and at Frank Rowe Furniture, it's time to sell, sell, sell. Everything's on sale. Made in the USA furniture, family-owned, and serviced after the sale. Also, we have in-store, no-credit check financing. I want you to remember one name, Frank Rowe Furniture, located at 405 4th Street in Barling, Arkansas, or check us out on Facebook. Frank Rowe Furniture, best seats in the house.
Standard Materials Group has immediate openings for ready-mix drivers in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you have a CDL license without an automatic restriction and want to be home every night, want to work with a company that offers great pay, benefits, and a great team environment with growth opportunities, apply today at jobs.crh.com. Again, that's jobs.crh.com. Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Looking for a fence company that will provide the personal touch to your fence or gating project? Call Dusty's Fence Company at 479-629-4190. Dusty's Fence Company specializes in custom wood design, vinyl fencing, chain link and ornamental iron projects, and they can even stain your fence to complete your project. Family owned and in business for 20 years, you will deal with the same person from start to finish. That's Dusty's Fence Company, 479-629-4190.
Doe's Eat Place, serving award-winning steaks, has now added lobster tail and salmon to the menu. You can also enjoy delicious appetizers along with your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Doe's Eat Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended. Call 784-9111. That's 784-9111. Doe's Eat Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
Building a home can be stressful. This is true whether you're the homeowner or the contractor. Many times these issues result in a lawsuit. If you are a homeowner or a contractor and find yourself needing legal help, call the attorneys at Kevin Hickey Law Partner. With experience representing homeowners as well as non-payment or other issues that could arise during construction. Contact Brad Hull or Kevin Hickey at 479-434-2414 in the River Valley or 479-802-6560 in Northwest Arkansas. Or check them out on the web at artriallawyers.com.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Love
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Follow the guys on Twitter at PhilElsonPXP, at Matt Travis, and at DBarrett36. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
Rick texted in. He says he's most impressed with Trey Williams right now. Beast, no doubt. It's one of those players, one of those performances, too, that against A&M, you look at the stat sheet and you're like, that doesn't really tell the story of what he did.
Yeah. I mean, he's gotten probably 50% of the votes on what people are most impressed by today on our text line. He's gotten a good 12 votes.
So, aside from the 2 sacks, aside from the 3 quarterback hurries and the 4 solo tackles, he just blew up play after play. I mean, that Jameer Johnson, the left tackle, had no chance against him.
Not a prayer.
That's one of the big reasons that Zach Calzada was running for his life the whole time. And John Ridgway's performance, I felt like, was the same thing. And they double-team him. He wins the one-on-one battle quite a bit. He didn't have all the stats, but, defensive linemen sometimes and defensive ends, it's not necessarily the stats that show you their performance. It's the team stats.
And coming into the game, we thought we were more worried about our offensive line and how they were going to conform against A&M's defensive front. And it was a complete opposite.
Yeah,
A&M was the one that was having trouble.
I'm impressed that Tommy is letting Ty Richardson out of the pen at ESPN Arkansas for this upcoming weekend against Georgia, because we're going behind enemy lines. Ty will be there. Of course, I'll be there as well. Brought to you by Big Red Stores in Central Arkansas. Your nearest location's easy to find at bigredstores.net, now more convenient than ever. And let's see what Jason in Frankfurt thinks about the most impressive aspect of Arkansas football so far. Jason, what impresses you?
Hey, I'm with you. The ability to get pressure out of those front 3 guys and then being able to drop 8 or even use a spy middle linebacker or one of the outside linebackers, that's made all the difference. Last year's team, they had to depend on getting interceptions or turnovers. This year's team, they haven't forced many turnovers, but they've certainly gotten pressure on the quarterback and have been effective there. So I think that's the biggest difference. Trey Williams and then the big nose guard have been just tremendous in terms of helpful there, and then just added depth where they can run guys in and just continue to keep that pressure on the quarterback and be able to drop 8 it's made all the difference in my opinion. So grateful that Barry Odom's figured out a way to do that and get those guys in there and put them in successful situations. Yeah.
Jason, appreciate the phone call, man. It's and again, there's a lot to be impressed about. It really is. It's fun to try to go through your thoughts and think, well, is it this? Is it that? Is it the other thing? Because
of what's the main thing of how everything is coming together.
The conversation used to be, and I mean, it wasn't the case last year, because by this point last year you just played your first game. But even 4 games in, you saw a lot of bright spots, and even had won. You won a couple of games. Yeah. But it is a really fun conversation to be having right now. Sam Pittman is apparently finished with his Zoom press conference. I know we've had some texts in asking about KJ and Traylon Burks' health. He says he expects both will be fine for Saturday's game. Not sure if they'll be full speed in Monday's practice. The story last week was about Dalton Wagner and Ricky Stromberg, and I don't think they practiced at all until Wednesday, and that was pretty light.
I thought it was Thursday. I thought they didn't even practice till Thursday.
Well, they both played really, really well, too.
They did.
So I would expect to see both.
He sounds more confident this Monday about those two than he did the other 2 last week. So I wouldn't worry.
See some other things that he touched on, and we'll have more of this kind of stuff tomorrow. Didn't want to talk about leaving Arkansas for Georgia, but he did say something about the Georgia program that attracted him. But I don't think he wants the his connection to Georgia to be the main storyline. But look, it's going to be explored pretty deeply, and along with his connection to Georgia goes the program that he left in order to go to Georgia, where he had pretty much the same title, I think, and did great things over there.
Yeah,
but, when you're on ESPN Game Day, like they're going to just about every aspect of the program turns into a story, so that's going to be one of them. That is definitely going to be one of them.
Oh, it will.
And they're rooting for. I think Georgia fans are rooting for Arkansas.
Of course, and especially for Sam Pittman. I mean, have you ever heard a Georgia fan or any fan in college football say one bad thing about Sam Pittman? It's the reason why so many people want to jump on this bandwagon. To go back to the conversation, excuse me, we had at the beginning of this hour, when you are that underdog, that's kind of the come out of nowhere horse, down the stretch type of situation. You want to root for that underdog. And you want to root for good stories, which Arkansas has been a good story. But more importantly, you want to root for good people, right? Nobody wants to root for the jerk, the villain, right? You want to root for, as the kids in the wrestling would say, the baby face. Nobody wants to root for the heel. And Sam Pittman is just such a nice, well-respected guy who has been a lifelong college football offensive line coach, been a long-time recruiter. And to get his shot and not only get the shot, but then succeed. I mean, come on, Phil. This is the things they write about in Hollywood, and that's why people want to be on this bandwagon.
Well, they write a lot of things in Hollywood, and this certainly feels like it's got a little bit of that script to it. But he came across as somebody that was very easy to get with and likable from his very first press conference. Not like I've had any personal interactions with him. But when you see so many of these same players that were around under Chad Morris, and they talk about the main difference is that they believe in themselves now in a way because of the way I think the coach communicates to them, and the rest of the coaches too. It's refreshing. It's refreshing. Look, and I mean, there are some coaches that try to act like they don't have an ego, and they're going to try to deflect a lot of the blame, but then when you read between the lines, sometimes it really is about those coaches. But with Sam Pittman, it doesn't come across as he's got any ego whatsoever. His ego is the team's ego. That these two things seem to go together. Hey, don't forget, September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. We need all men listening now between the ages of 45 and 75 to get screened, because this could save your life. Generally, 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer during his lifetime. And the reality is that over 90% of diagnosed men don't even experience any symptoms. So get screened. The initial test is just a simple blood draw. Free screenings and resources. You can find the details at arprostatecancer.org. Halftime to wrap up right after this.
Phil Elson and Ty Richardson are behind enemy lines in Athens this weekend.
Gentlemen, I want to make one thing clear before we leave.
Their safety is secured by Reed's Metals of Benton.
Any man who doesn't wish to join this mission, step away right now.
Additional protection comes from Big Red Stores in Central Arkansas.
All right, then. Let's go get our boy back.
In the mood for a top shelf night? 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge has your number. Sit back, relax, and enjoy select wines, top shelf spirits, and handcrafted cocktails in a rich, comfortable, sanitized setting with state-of-the-art air filtration. Indulge in one of our delicious appetizers, sandwiches, salads, or specialty items for carry-out or dine-in. Open Tuesday through Saturday. Stop by 906 Garrison Avenue in Fort Smith. 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge, defining nightlife in downtown Fort Smith.
Farm Credit has been a trusted friend for over 100 years. They are ag financing experts. So whether you're a longtime farmer, new to farming, or buying your dream home or land in the country, their experienced staff has a plan to fit your goals, needs, and your bottom line. From farms to land, livestock, equipment, and more, Farm Credit finances it all. Learn more at myaglender.com. Farm Credit is an equal opportunity lender.
Let Carco Car Sales, formerly Hertz Car Sales, show you how easy it is to buy a quality used car. Carco Auto Sales has been serving the River Valley in eastern Oklahoma for over 40 years and believe in fair prices, superior service, and treating people right. The friendly and knowledgeable staff is here to help you find the car you deserve, priced right to fit your budget, so you can leave with a peace of mind knowing that you are getting a quality, well-maintained vehicle. Come see the team at Carco Auto Sales, formerly Hertz Car Sales, at 2810 Midland Boulevard today. Give them a call at 783-1722 or check them out at buyfromcarco.com. Carco Auto Sales, when you're ready.
Law's Drugstore in Fort Smith has COVID vaccinations available today for you and your family. Law's Drugstore has the Pfizer vaccine for ages 12 and up. The vaccine is safe and effective in preventing severe cases of COVID. Just call 452-6116 to schedule your appointment or stop by Law's Drugstore at 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family. Call them now, 452-6116.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Make Awake Bait and Tackle on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma has everything a fisherman needs. Rods, reels, tackle, plastics, all kinds of great baits to catch a wall hanger. Rods starting at $69.95. The biggest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reaction Innovation, Bobby Garland, Lake Fork Hugin, and more. And Make Awake has Daiwa rods and reels, and they repair them too. Make Awake Bait and Tackle, 1 mile east of I-540 on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Make Awake Bait and Tackle.
Winter is just around the corner. At AOG, we realize some customers are facing new challenges because of the pandemic. We're here to help. Our customer service team can offer payment options or direct you to utility payment assistance agencies in your area for help. Please call us at 1-800-842-5690 or visit AOGC.com. Thank you for being a valued AOG customer. We're all in this together.
Have you ever been to River City Bistro for a brunch on the weekends? Every Saturday and Sunday, River City is open at 10 a.m. with a special brunch menu. Eggs and omelets any way you like. Premium bacon, sausage and ham, waffles, eggs Benedict, and a great drink menu featuring mimosas, Bloody Marys, and all your brunch favorites. We will see you for brunch every Saturday and Sunday starting at 10 a.m. at River City Bistro, 7320 Rogers Avenue in the Stonewood Village Shopping Center.
This is ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett. The Morning Rush, Halftime, Ruskin and Zach, Hog Reaction, Coffee with Counsel, Huddle Up, and Fantasy Football Sunday. All available on the Hit That Line podcast network. Just type Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Our podcasts are on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, hitthatline.com, Anchor, TuneIn, Stitcher, and Google Play. Brought to you by Breeden RV Center.
We'll wrap up the show here, our final segment. Excited to get into Athens this weekend. Ty's going to be there, too. We're behind enemy lines. Thanks to Reed's Metals of Benton, Arkansas, for sending Ty. Because I'm going with other people. Reed's Metals is the manufacturer. Buy direct and save on all your metal roofing, your metal buildings, and pole barns. For a free quote, call 501-776-3825. Or you can visit reedsmetals.com. Let's see. JR texted in. He's most impressed about the Arkansas defense, specifically the three-man front, specifically Trey Williams.
There's vote number 14.
There you go. I mean, he was our choice for player of the game Saturday. I know the CBS telecast said the same thing. When you blow up that many plays, when you own a left tackle that much, his little dip move, that swim move that he uses, he got underneath Jameer Johnson over and over and over again, and
just whipped him. I mean,
but it isn't even just him. I mean, one of the reasons that I think Williams is able to do what he's doing, Drew, is that he's not on the field for every play, or
able to rotate. That's what happens when you had depth. You can rotate and keep people good.
They trust 9 defensive linemen right now. I mean, they're sending Mateo Soli in there both in the first and second half, so it seems that he's gotten into the good graces of Sam Pittman, and And he's on the third string, but the third string is playing big downs, big series. It's tremendous. And Jeff texts in another aspect of this that I hadn't touched on yet. How many times did Williams get held? There
Plenty.
were, and I don't know if I write my notes in practically the way that I'd like to, but there were so many penalties specifically on the Texas A&M offensive line, either false starts or holding, or the offense was just aligned improperly. They seemed to be, they were trying to get out ahead of a defense that was faster than them, and they couldn't. They just couldn't.
And let's also look at the fact that you're rotating 9 and that you're being able to blow up, the offensive side, right? Let's look at this at an even different angle. How great of a job does being able to trust 9 and rotate that much do for on a recruiting purpose? I mean, you can go in to these guys that have off the 5-star guys, and you can tell them, look, it doesn't really matter where you are on the depth chart. If you're good enough to play, you're going to play. I play third-string guys. I play fourth-string guys. We rotate. You're going to get a chance to prove yourself, not just only in practice, but you're going to get game-time snaps. That does so much for recruiting, because guys want to come in and play. And a lot of them don't want to sit out of here. They don't want a red shirt. They don't want to, learn as they go. They want to play. I mean, that's why they play the game, is because they like to play. And I think that just is another feather in the cap when it comes to recruiting that they can use.
Well, and Coach Pittman also today said that after winning over Texas and Texas A&M, it's a really good time to recruit.
Yes,
to the
it is.
University of Arkansas. And I don't remember the exact number, but the NCAA panel that oversees football has recommended, I think this vote comes up next week, of increasing the cap on the number of players for the next incoming class. So where you've been capped at 25, I think they're going to add another 7 players.
Okay.
So you're going to get it. I mean, coaches have been asking for roster relief because of the COVID super seniors, and everybody gets that extra year.
Yeah, they need it.
So now they're going to get a chance to recruit more players, and that involves the transfer portal as well. Of which, I mean, we just look at the defensive linemen. Man, they hit on all 3 of these guys.
They're batting 1,000.
So go out and find. Look, I mean, that's how you do it now. That's how you recruit in not just college football right now, but I mean this is one thing that Muss is known as the champion of the transfer portal. Dave Van Horn and Nate Thompson, who is oversees recruiting for the baseball team. I mean, these guys are tremendous at finding guys in the transfer portal who will make an impact at Arkansas. And Sam Pittman and his staff have done the exact same thing. Traylon Smith transferred from Arizona State, sat a year, back when you had to sit a year for transferring from another program. And now you find these grad transfers. There's going to be other ones now. I mean, this becomes, the opposite of a vicious cycle. It really does. If winning makes your ability to recruit incoming freshmen better, doesn't it do the same thing for graduate transfers?
Oh, of course.
Doesn't it?
They're paying attention just as much.
I mean, guys that should be making an impact earlier than your incoming freshmen do.
Exactly.
It's going
to help. And you look at it this way. It's going to help you in the transfer portal, but it's also going to help you to where you might not always need it. The more you win, the more rotation of guys that you get in there, the more playing time that's spread around throughout the entire roster, the less unhappy players you have, and the less people transfer.
Then
hopefully you don't even need it.
Then it turns into the P&P, the plug and play.
Plug and play, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what you want.
It was 8 penalties on the Texas A&M offensive line. Think about that. 8
It's a good chunk
on just the offensive line. Either false starts because they knew they weren't quick enough to block them, or holding because they couldn't block them. Amazing.
It is.
Text out of the 479, how long can you keep Odom, pay him, whatever. Yep. Well, I mean, you don't want to project necessarily to the end of the season, but I'd imagine there are going to be some other programs that might be
He's going to get phone calls. But
looking for Barry Odom. The thing is, I mean, in the SEC, this is a league that is offensively oriented, and offensive coaches usually get the jobs. So, and I think that extends somewhat nationally as well. I know Barry Odom already has been a head coach in the SEC. I'm not telling you that somebody might not be looking at him for that as well. But it just feels like, folks are looking more for offensively minded head coaches. But that's definitely a guy you want to keep with this staff for as long as possible.
You definitely
Maybe he's
do.
the next Arkansas head coach, whenever Coach Pittman decides to hang him up.
He ultimately could be, who knows. But and this is somebody who does not know Barry Odom. Barry Odom does not know me from Adam. But having gone through what he went through at Missouri, right? At his alma mater, didn't work out the way he would have wanted, kind of left with a sour taste in, I think, his mouth and in Mizzou fans' mouth. How much aspirations does he have to do that again? To jump back into that head coaching saddle? I mean, some people are, who have gone off and done it, they realize, hey, I was better, I was more happier, I was more comfortable as a DC or an OC. So who's to say he doesn't have admirations just to, be where he is because he's happy, because he enjoys the situation?
It's tough to get into somebody's mind.
It is.
In a moment like this. I mean, there are children, his own kids that are involved with something like that, and who knows. But there's no doubt. I mean, his let's just look at it in the course of this season right now, okay? And it was 4 games in. You're not building statues of anybody just yet, but the Broyles Award, top assistant in college football. Is there anybody right now that's any better?
I don't think
than
so.
Barry Odom in the country?
Nobody's standing out.
Hello? I don't think so. But again, it's 4 games in. We'll see what happens in the next.
Yeah, only a third way there.
Next 8. But you're already. I mean, Clay brought it up last week. There are bowl implications for this Texas A&M win. 4 out of 6 there. I mean, the Pine Bluff game should be a victory, of course. So, and then you're looking.
You got State, Mizzou.
I'm not telling you to make your plans for December yet, but you can start looking ahead.
Would.
You can start to look ahead a little bit.
I would, but I also told you to bet the rent money on the plus 18.5. So what do I know?
And oh, by the way, I think Isaiah Spiller needs to learn what the idea of being stopped is, because he was stopped behind the line of scrimmage more times than he's willing to admit. Let's go back. I'm sure he's watching the game tape. We'll see what he says later in the week. We'll worry about him next year. All right, that's it for Halftime on a Monday. Appreciate you guys doing our work for us. And tomorrow, as usual, old Tuesday, we'll talk recruiting with Danny West. We got Nate Olson coming in for high school football, and you can do some of the work for us. We'll come prepared. For Maddie, for Drew, I'm Phil. Have a great Monday. Get up, get out, get better.